Sometime around 1 or 2 a.m., Keith said Kimberly was going to bed, and so he took Samantha into the shed. He gave her a 5-gallon bucket to sit on, and he turned the radio all the way up so that if she were to scream, no one would be able to hear her. Keys wrapped a rope around her neck, and then he screwed it into the wall. He said that she was very quiet throughout all of this because she was under the impression that she would not be harmed.
The whole time I told her that I made it sound like it was going to be a quick exchange as far as a ransom of some kind, and that was the impression she was under.
So she did what you told her to. It was her impression that you would let her go.
That's what she was saying. I never actually told her that.
Gotcha. She was kind of looking at you
I wasn't aggressive towards her at all. I tried to, I would ask her what she would need, like, I let her smoke her cigarettes and brought her some water. Had the radio on in the shed up fairly loud, just in case she decided to start screaming or something.
Before he killed her, he left again. This time he left her in the shed, and he went to the ATM with the PIN number this time because, in his own words, he wanted to make sure that there was an active checking account.
After all the credit or ATM stuff was done, I got a glass of wine and got her some water, and she was asking me if everything was working out okay, and if I got a hold of her dad, and if I had the ATM card, and if she was asking me if all this stuff was going as planned, and I said yeah, it's fine.
Keys said that he tied Samantha to the floor face down.
And had her lay down on the floor on the mat. Took 2 more pieces of rope and put them through the cable ties. And
on her hands, so her hands.
Yeah, 2 separate pieces of rope on her hands. And then I tied knots in the ends of the rope, and I screwed the rope down to the floor of the wall, so her arms were out. And
did she ever struggle for you? Or did she just let you do that?
She knew. She knew at that point. She said, please don't rape me. And I put my head right up to her ear and I said, you knew this was coming. And she started to nod and she started to cry a little bit. And I said, you can make it easier, you can make it harder. And she was still cooperative, but she was really scared at that point.
Keys also said that he had heaters on and that Samantha was shaking because she was so nervous, and she kept asking him to turn the heat up, so it was about 80 or 90 degrees in the shed. Keys explained that he went inside to get a gag. He wanted to put a gag in her mouth before he raped her, and he had picked out a purple silk handkerchief that belonged to a girlfriend of his in Seattle. He told investigators that they used to tie each other up with it.
I wound it up, and I didn't stick anything else in her mouth. I don't know, it was mostly just because I wanted to do it, because it didn't really keep her from making any noise.
He took the handkerchief back into the shed and he tied it around Samantha's head, but he said that she could still talk. Keys told investigators that he knew she was going to scream eventually, and so he took a 36-inch cable tie and tied it around her neck. One he claims he later burned and began to cut off her clothes.
Had a big black trash bag in there already, a really big contractor's bag, and I was throwing everything in there. I threw everything in that. I threw every cable tie I cut, her jacket, anything that touched her, tape, whatever, it all went in that bag, including like the wallet with the credit card. Like once I had the number scratched in the card, I didn't even look at it again. I threw everything in there. The only thing I took out of her purse was the cash. I didn't even take the change. There was a bunch of change and small stuff. I didn't take any of that stuff out. I just threw her purse in that big black bag. I think she thought I was gonna sodomize her. She started saying, "Oh no, not that."
Keith said that at this point he stood up and he just looked at her for a while. He said he still had his clothes on, but he just watched her for a while.
Then I took my clothes off and put on a condom, and I raped her. Remember, the radio was on. It took, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 songs. Right before I finished, I did sodomize her, and she screamed a little bit. And right when she screamed, I had to, I think I pulled on the cable tie a little bit and told her to shut up. Then after it was over, she was, I don't know, I guess you'd say she was resigned at that point.